Hey guys, we're back on the right-hand drive swap series. Welcome to part 5. Part 5, we're going to be doing something a little different today. We're going to be stepping away from the car. We are going to do some wiring. Now, it's not like wiring where I'm going to be like pinning stuff and stuff like that, but I will have to take the interior harness, pull it apart, and make some stuff longer. We have to fish the harness out, all these parts. See, the stock harness is right there. It's laying under the dash, so let's just pull that out. So I brought the whole left-hand drive setup USDM harness out here. And I'm going to see what I need to do to essentially make everything work for right-hand drive. So I'm going to leave it on the bar because it might be easier to mess with. We'll see about that. There's also going to be a lot of stuff I'm taking off of here too. Stuff I don't need, like the airbag stuff, like this whole everything yellow I'm gonna pull out. Yellow, airbag, airbag, airbag. So we're gonna try to lighten this harness up a little bit, make it a little bit more simple, and then Jesus Christ. And then we'll go from there, because this is pretty much the main part. Everything else can stay where it's at. Got this plastic knife here. We're just gonna cut up part of the harness that we want to extend or get rid of. So now that I pretty much have all the insulation and all the crap off this harness, I can go through, since every plug is labeled, I can go through and see what I don't need or my car doesn't need. Just kind of get it out of the way, make everything a little easier. And I'm not going to cut the wire. I'm going to pretty much pull it all the way to the plug and then I'll depin it. The reason why I'm doing that is because I could use the wires to extend the other wires. Like I was looking right here. Kind of sucks. You can see the cluster wires, the cluster plugs, they need to go over there for right-hand drive. And you can see a lot of these wires go towards this MPX, this red box here. So I'm gonna have to extend pretty much half of these wires, about, I don't know, 4 feet all the way to the other side. So a lot of these wires hopefully are the same gauge and they got the same pins on. That way I could just, you know, solder them and make them longer. So that's pretty much the goal here. I gotta remove a lot of stuff. I see like the seat heaters, traction control, ABS, all that stuff's gonna be gone. I see the seat memory plug. Shit, a lot of this stuff's gonna be useless. The navigation plugs, that's a lot of wires. Get rid of that. I'm gonna keep radio and AC for now. Everything else we're gonna delete. Like this green box is daytime running lights. Those have been gone for a long time. And then right here we have the, what is this theft warning box. I don't know if this needs to be near the ignition or not, so we'll look into that. And then this is the headlight leveling. I think I'm gonna hold on to that now because I do have my USDM light still. Hold on to that. I could probably leave that here, but this may need to go over there. The green box is gonna be gone, so I'm pretty much gonna be getting rid of half of the wires in this harness. At this point, there's pretty much no reason why I shouldn't go switch panel, but I want to keep everything OEM style for now. You know, switch panel is pretty easy. That can be done within a day's work. You know, and this is probably going to take me a couple more hours to get it sorted through and then see how many wires I need to extend. So we're going to start on the airbag plugs and just the basic stuff that we don't need. And I'm just going to start pulling those away from the harness. I'm still going to try to keep the harness going in all the directions that it's going because I don't want to get anything mixed up and I want to keep those tied together. That's why some of the stuff I left on, like some of this stuff, I'll probably have to take off. But yeah, let's get to work. Well, another day working on the IS. We're going to continue simplifying the harness, and I think also what we're going to do is we're just going to plug everything in as if it were in the car. We'll plug it into the engine and just see if we can get the engine to turn over and fire up. Maybe we'll spray some brake cleaner in there, some starter fluid or something, see if we can get it to fire up. I got the battery, it's been out for 4 months, I got it charging. I just want to see, however much I simplify this harness, if my car will start, because I don't want to expect everything to run, get my motor in, and then it doesn't start. Then I gotta rework the whole harness and figure out what the problem is. So that's what we're gonna start with. We're gonna start with simplifying the harness more. I'll probably pull the engine bay harness apart, clean it, and get rid of some more wires. But yeah, we need to plug in this motor and make sure she runs. That way we don't run into any terrible problems, you know, when we're trying to get the car ready for our next event, which is coming up pretty soon here in about a month and a half. Meanwhile, me and my girlfriend are going to be working on sanding down the car, but that's going to be for another video. But yeah, we'll be working on that as well. There'll be another video on that, so just stay tuned for that. Whew. So this is where I'm at. I've been working on this for, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. I got to the point where I'm going to take a break on the engine bay side, and I'm going to work on extending the actual wires that I need to extend over to the steering wheel column, because I've simplified the harness, so I just didn't want to be extending unnecessary wires. That's why I did that first. Everything's a mess, and I was thinking, well, what could be the best way to simplify this? Because I have all these wires over here where the old left-hand drive steering column was, and all these wires and all these wires. So basically I got all these wires that I need to bring over there. So that's maybe, I'd say about 5 feet. Maybe need to extend it 5 feet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to separate these wires from the harness. Some come from this way and some come from that way. So the ones that come from that way, I can just, you know, kind of keep moving them as far as I can go until it stops. And then, you know, the ones that come from this way, I'm going to need to extend. So I have a lot of spare wire from all the stuff that I simplified, but a lot of it's not like the type of wire I need or the thickness I need or the right pins. So what I thought was, I have this JDM harness that I couldn't really use. So what I was going to do is I'll just pull apart this, and I'll pull the plugs out and cut the wires on those, and then basically just use those to extend these. So it's going to take a little bit more time, but it doesn't matter. I want to make everything right. And then I got some ideas with this harness. I'm going to move some of it around, probably relocate that fuse box inside the car if I can find a good spot for it. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of moving wires around, but I'm going to try my best to extend the least amount of wires possible. I want the engine bay to look clean, but at the same time I don't want to have a rat's nest. So this might take a while. This is a lot of wires to move 5 feet. So we got to get to work on that, pulling apart from the harness and extending them where we need to. So let's get to work on that. Well, I wired the bare minimum just because I want to see if the car will start. I got all the ignition wires ran, well, most of them. I'm missing one plug, but I'm going to see if it'll start without it. So I rigged up everything right now. I got the engine harness plugged into the car. I got the ECU right there. I got the motor grounded over here to the chassis. I got all the positives to the car together, to the fuse box, to the starter, and from the battery. So as long as that doesn't touch any grounds, we're good. I got the battery hooked up, so I'm gonna hit the circuit breaker. Hopefully nothing blows up. Crank it. Shit. Ah, fuck it.
Maybe where's the extinguisher, just in case?
Start it. It was shooting power steering fluid out of the pump. I was like, oh shit, now it's everywhere. Holy shit.